To go through a 30-minute show, we're always taking it to the paint. We're going to be flying high. We're going to punch it in for 6, because that's what we do. Think about it. We cover the great teams across our state with our great team. You're just like us. You're passionate about sports, and so are we. You deserve more than 3 minutes a night. That's why we serve up 30 minutes a night each and every night. And we are going to be doing everything we possibly can to bring you the sports news that you want.
Chevrolet Sports Night, every night at 10:30 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Stories are everywhere. The stories of North Carolina are the politics of North Carolina. I want to tell you about my podcast, Tying It Together with Tim Boyne. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the fascinating world of North Carolina politics. We're really going to focus on the people behind the politics. We're going to dig deep, find out what makes these people tick and why they make the decisions that they do.
Tying It Together with Tim Boyne, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Talking about the weather, studying about the weather has always been a passion of mine, and I'm so grateful that I have a job where I can get up, go to work, and talk about something that I love, something that I'm passionate about. One of the things that I like to do is actually getting out of the Weather Center and going into the community and talking to various community groups, talking to kids about the weather and sharing my passion about the science of meteorology.
Stories that matter to you, now wherever you are. Download the all-new Your Community Connection.
Time now for a look at what's happening in our community. Brought to you by Leith Nissan in Cary.
It's 4 o'clock. There's never time to drive recklessly. A reminder from HendrickCars.com.
In your top stories this afternoon, as places open back up, one thing is missing: staff. What employers are offering to get workers back in the door.
The level of talent that is in this town is amazing.
These actresses are finally returning to the big stage. How this theater is getting ready for its first post-pandemic production. This is your afternoon on Spectrum News 1. Hey, good Saturday afternoon to you. It's great to have you with us on this June 12th. I'm Sarah Redlang. We have news that matters in your community and stories that inspire. But first, I'm not alone in here. I want to bring in meteorologist Vernon Turner. Vern, I drug you in here because people want to know, it's the weekend. They're hoping for a break in this darn rain that we've been seeing.
Well, you know, you didn't so much drag me in here. It's nice to be able to be in the same room as you, and officially in person. Welcome to the Spectrum News fam. Glad to have you. Sorry that you're coming in at a time with so much rainfall, but
you know, that's okay. I don't mind. It's refreshing.
Right. It is refreshing, but believe it or not, before you got here, we were actually moving through the driest spring on record. Wow. Believe it or not, right? Folks, I mean, let's go back to March 1st to May 31st. That's meteorological spring. We just received just over 5 inches of rainfall. In the first 11 days of June, we have nearly tied that. So all we need is just 0.03 of an inch of rainfall today out at RDU International, and we tied the last 3 months combined. Now, we had a nasty storm move through Fayetteville area. Now, this is actually more so the Eastover area. Thank you, Dee, for sending in this picture of that storm moving in to your neighborhood. Dee got inside before that rainfall really got in there. But we're going to see similar storms to that as we continue through the rest of our afternoon and evening. Rainfall not guaranteed for everybody, but scattered showers and storms a possibility as the day wears on. So keep the rain gear close by. One or two of those storms may last into the early nighttime hours, especially down in the Sandhills. But the good news is, as we look ahead to tomorrow, more areas will see sunshine. We'll talk about those locations and take a sneak peek at the work week forecast coming up in a few minutes.
It's time for news that matters in and around your community. In April, we learned Apple was opening its first East Coast campus in Wake County. Now we're learning about what influenced that decision. Yesterday, the Wake County Board of Commissioners and Research Triangle Park leaders met at the new Boxyard RTP to discuss what makes this area so attractive to companies like Apple.
We build affordable housing because we want people to be able to live in the same places that we work. And our companies see that the investments we make, and they appreciate them because they want their employees not to be priced out of our market either. We build parks and greenways and museums because we want people to love living in this area, whether they are entry-level employees or they're CEOs.
Now get this, the move is expected to bring 3,000 new jobs and an investment of more than $1 billion in the Research Triangle area. The move to the Triangle is also expected to generate over $1.5 billion in economic benefits annually for North Carolina. This weekend is your chance to enjoy North Carolina brews. The NC Hops Festival is being held today and tomorrow in the Expo building on the State Fairgrounds. You can sample beer, cider, and seltzers. There will also be live music, local vendors, and food trucks.
It's one flat price. You come in, you get a cup, it's unlimited sampling. You go walk around, enjoy, you can choose what you want to try. There's going to be yard games, there's going to be photo booths, live music to listen to, vendors to shop from, and food trucks to patronize.
That sounds pretty fun. Tickets are $45 per session, but designated driver tickets are $10 each. Across the nation, the hospitality industry is short-staffed, and we're feeling that right here at home. According to the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, the leisure and hospitality sector accounted for 20% of job losses during the pandemic. Spectrum News 1 reporter Victoria Reslow shows us the struggle to hire people back.
Okay, so this space is pretty cool. Jane Broden is showing us around Wake Tech's commercial kitchen. This is where students learn a lot of their culinary skills.
It's a real life environment where they can, make mistakes in the beginning and then evolve over their years in the program.
Broden teaches front of the house hospitality management classes and has been at Wake Tech for 25 years.
I always say that it's the students that keep me young. That's probably why I'm still so happy here after all these years.
Students like culinary major Aldo Alvarado.
I made these myself.
Who's set to graduate in December.
I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of restaurants are coming back. A lot of people are getting their jobs back. It's not easy coming back from something this big, pandemic. But I think little by little, this comeback is going to be great.
A comeback business owners and customers are eager to see. Typically, Wake Tech can pair its students and graduates with local employers, but there is a big shortage of hospitality workers overall, meaning employers are in a holding pattern.
A couple of, I know, employees or students in general have they've been displaced, like they went to work at Home Depot or they went to work to cleaning and manufacturing. So then they might just still be staying there because they're, hardworking, and we'll get them back though. I'm optimistic.
Broden says she thinks it's important that managers and customers are mindful of everyone's comfort level as we get back to normal.
Just because I'm comfortable not wearing a mask because I'm vaccinated doesn't mean the next person is.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, countrywide, the leisure and hospitality field has added 5.4 million jobs over the year. But employment in the industry is down by 2.8 million since February 2020. Broden is hopeful the numbers start to even out by fall.
We believe they will be back, especially in a couple months or in the fall. But right now it's a huge amount of demand versus the small amount of supply.
According to Visit Raleigh, about 66% of the 67,000 employees in the hospitality industry in the greater Raleigh area were let go in 2020 because of financial strain. Now, some employers are using incentives to get employees back. Things like free parking, added benefits, signing bonuses, and better wages. The North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association created a job board to help. So take a look. It lists open positions within the hospitality industry across the state. Positions are all levels, from part-time to management level. And you can search for jobs based on where you live. The county has done a lot of adapting together during the pandemic. And the theater community is an area hit particularly hard. Now, after months of waiting, the show is back on. Our